Tom lived a quiet life in a small town on Earth. He worked at a repair shop that fixed old machines. Most of his days were the same. He would wake up, drink tea, go to the shop, and come back home to read or watch the stars. He didn't have many friends, but he didn't mind. He liked peace. One morning, Tom stepped outside and saw people standing in the street, all looking up. Some were pointing. Others were recording with their phones. The sky was clear, but there was something big above them. A huge silver shape floated in the clouds. It was not a plane. It was far too large and smooth. Tom stared at it. It was a ship, an alien ship. The news came quickly. All TV and online channels showed the same message. A calm alien voice spoke. "This is not an attack. We come in peace. A treaty was made many years ago. One of our royal daughters must choose a human to be her mate. She has made her choice. Do not be afraid." People around the world were shocked. Some laughed. Some worried. But Tom just stood still. He felt a strange chill in his body. He didn't know why, but he had a feeling this was not going to be just another day. That afternoon, Tom was working on an old radio when three people entered his shop. They were not human. Their faces were smooth and silver blue, and they wore long black clothes. One of them spoke. "You're Tom, son of Helen, born in Riverfield?" The tallest one asked. Tom stood up. "Yes. Who are you?" The alien took a step forward. "You have been selected. Princess Rena has chosen you. Prepare yourself." Tom blinked. "What? Chosen for what? I didn't sign up for anything. You are the human she wants. It is her right by the treaty. Please come with us. No harm will come to you." Tom looked around. The town was quiet now. Most people were inside. He didn't know if anyone saw what was happening. His heart beat faster. This didn't feel real. "I don't understand," Tom said. "Why me? I don't even know her. You will understand soon." The alien said, "We ask you to come peacefully. The princess is waiting." Tom could have run, but something inside him said not to. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was something else. He took a deep breath and nodded. "All right," he said. "I'll go, but I want answers." The aliens led him outside. A strange round ship waited in the street. The door opened with a quiet hum. Tom stepped inside. The door closed, and the ship lifted into the air. The town below grew smaller and smaller. Then the stars appeared. Inside the ship, everything was quiet. The walls glowed gently. Tom sat in a soft seat and looked out a clear window. He had never been in space before. Now he was flying to meet an alien princess after some time. The ship docked into a much larger one. It looked like a floating city. Tom followed the guards through wide halls until they stopped in front of a large door. "She is inside," one guard said. Tom nodded and entered. The room was tall and bright. In the center stood a young woman with silver hair and soft violet eyes. She wore a long robe of deep blue that sparkled like water. She turned to him and smiled. "You are Tom," she said gently. "Yes," Tom said. "And you must be Princess Rena?" She stepped closer. "I am. Thank you for coming. I hope you are not too afraid." Tom looked at her. She didn't seem dangerous. She looked calm and kind, but very serious. "I didn't come because I understand. I came because I had no choice." Rena nodded. "I understand. I want to explain." She walked over to a long window. Through it, stars drifted by. Tom joined her. "Many years ago, my people made a deal with Earth's leaders," she said. "It was kept secret from your world. We offered help with clean energy and medicine. In return, one day, one of us would choose a human to bond with." Tom shook his head. "But why?" "Our line must grow stronger," Rena said. "We believe humans carry something rare. Not just in the body, but in the spirit. We value peace, logic, and long life. But we lack something your kind is feeling. Choice, heart." Tom looked down. "And you chose me?" "Yes," she said simply. "I studied many humans. I watched your world from above. I saw people with power, people with speed, and people with fame. But you were different. You fixed things. You lived quietly. You are kind even when no one sees. That is rare. Tom didn't know what to say. No one had ever looked at him that way before. Still, it would have been nice to ask me first. Rena looked sad for a moment. You were right. I wanted to. But the law says the choice is made by the princess. That is why I'm asking you now, not as a ruler, but as someone who wants to know you. Tom sighed. This is a lot to take in. I know, Rena said. You may stay here and learn more. I will not force you to stay with me, but I do hope, in time, you'll choose to. Tom looked at her. She seemed honest. Her voice was soft. There was no anger in her. Just hope. I'll stay for now, he said slowly. But I still want answers. You'll have them, Rena said. Come, let me show you your quarters. You will be safe, as Tom followed her down the glowing hall. He felt a strange mix of fear and wonder. He didn't know what was coming next, but deep inside, he knew this was just the beginning. Tom walked beside Princess Rena through the quiet, glowing halls of the alien ship. Everything looked clean, smooth, and soft, like it was made of living light. The air smelled fresh, like flowers after rain. He felt like he was inside a dream he couldn't wake up from. They stopped at a large door that opened by itself. Inside was a room bigger than his whole house on Earth. The bed was floating slightly above the ground, and the walls showed moving images of stars. There was a table filled with strange fruits and glowing drinks. This is your room, Rena said. You may stay here as long as you wish. No one will disturb you. Tom looked around, amazed. It's very quiet. We respect space and peace, Rena said gently. But if you need company, just call my name. I will come. He sat on the soft bed. It felt like a warm cloud. This is too much for me to understand. I know, Rena said. Your world lives fast. Ours moves with care. Tom looked at her again. Her face was calm. Her eyes were deep, like a lake in the night. Why did you really pick me? He asked. There must have been thousands of other humans. Rena sat across from him. I watched you for many moons, not just your face, your actions, your kindness. You helped an old man fix his bike. You gave food to a lost dog. You spoke kindly even when others did not. You didn't try to be a hero. You just were gentle. Tom rubbed the back of his neck. I didn't think anyone saw those things. I did, Rena said with a small smile. And they mattered to me. There was silence between them. Not heavy, but soft. Like the kind of quiet when two people don't need to speak. Suddenly, a light near the door blinked. Your health scan is complete, a voice said. Human Tom is healthy. Thank you, Rena replied. Tom blinked. I was scanned only. For safety, Rena said. We never harm. We only learn. Tom nodded. I guess that makes sense later. Rena showed him the rest of the ship. There was a garden room full of tall glowing trees and singing plants. There was a learning center, where walls changed to show stars, planets, and alien history. There was even a room where water floated in the air like bubbles, and one could swim through them like a bird in the sky everywhere they went. The crew members bowed their heads when they saw Rena. Some looked at Tom with curiosity. A few whispered, quietly, their eyes unsure. They don't all agree with my choice, Rena said softly as they walked. Some hoped I would pick someone strong or famous, but I chose from my heart. Tom stopped walking. So they don't like me. Some don't understand you yet, Rena said. But in time, they will. That night, Tom returned to his room. He lay on the soft bed and looked at the ceiling, which showed a slow-moving view of Earth from space. He thought about his life, his small home, his quiet shop, his simple days. Now he was on a ship with an alien princess who said she chose him from everyone on Earth. He didn't know how to feel. Was he lucky, trapped, special, or just confused? The next morning, Rena invited him to breakfast. The dining room was open and bright. The table was set with food he had never seen, purple fruits that tasted like honey, golden bread that melted on his tongue, and a blue drink that made him feel warm inside. Rena sat beside him, not across. She didn't act like a queen. She acted like someone who wanted to be close. I have a question, Tom said while eating. Ask, she replied. Do you really have to marry a human? Or was it just a choice? Rena looked thoughtful. It is part of the treaty. One princess must join with a human. My sisters did not want to. I did. Because you believe in it. Yes, Rena said. I believe we can grow together. Not just our people, but our hearts. Tom looked at her. Hands. They were slender, silver-tinted, with a soft glow. This is all too fast for me. I understand, she said. I did not ask for your heart today. Only your time. Tom nodded. That felt fair. Later that day, Rena took him to the Hall of Harmony. It was a place where songs floated through the air, and walls changed color with music. She showed him how to place his hand on a crystal, and when he did, the room began to sing softly. The sound was peaceful, like wind through trees. You have a calm soul, Rena said. That is rare in our world. Tom smiled a little. I guess fixing old radios teaches you patience. Rena laughed. It was the first time he heard her laugh. It was light and gentle. That evening, Tom was given a small round stone that could call Rena at any time. He was free to walk around the ship, visit the garden, read in the learning center, or rest in his room. But he couldn't stop thinking. He walked to the garden and sat near a tree that glowed blue. Tiny floating lights danced around its leaves. A soft breeze moved through the room. Tom whispered to himself, "Why me?" Behind him, a quiet voice answered, "Because you were kind when no one was watching." He turned. Rena stood there. "I didn't mean to call you," Tom said. "You didn't have to," she said. "Sometimes. I just know." They sat together in the quiet garden. "I never thought I would meet someone like you," Tom said. "And I never thought a human would sit beside me like this," Rena replied. The stars outside the garden room began to glow brighter. Somewhere in the distance, soft music played. Tom didn't know what tomorrow would bring. But for now, he didn't feel alone, and for the first time since the ship took him, he felt like maybe, just maybe, he belonged here. Tom woke up slowly, surrounded by soft light and silence. The ceiling above him still showed the view of stars drifting across space. It felt peaceful, but also strange. He was far from Earth, far from everything he knew. Yet, he didn't feel scared. Not anymore. He got dressed in the clothes left for him. The fabric was smooth and light. It felt like wearing soft air. As he stepped out of his room, the hallway lights gently turned on, guiding him. A voice from the wall spoke kindly. "Good morning, Tom. Princess Rena is in the Thought Garden if you wish to join her." Tom smiled. The ship knew everything. It was like living inside a quiet, helpful mind. He followed the path to the Thought Garden. It was a wide room filled with living trees and flowers that changed colors with emotion. Floating lights moved like tiny stars, and the floor was soft, like moss. In the middle of the garden sat Rena, her eyes closed, hands resting on her lap. She looked peaceful, like a statue in a dream. Tom didn't want to disturb her, so he sat nearby. A soft wind passed through the garden, and the flowers around him glowed yellow. He picked one and studied it. It opened like a tiny umbrella, then curled back gently. "I can feel your questions," Rena said suddenly, her eyes still closed. Tom looked up. "Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you." "You didn't," she said, opening her eyes and turning to him. "I was waiting." Tom smiled slightly. "You always know when I'm thinking too much." She stood up and walked over. "That is a skill we learn, reading feelings, not minds. I felt your wonder, and also your worry." Tom nodded. "It's just strange. I thought aliens would be more different from humans. But this place feels soft. It feels kind." Rena looked at the glowing trees. "We build it with care. Our world is older than yours. We made mistakes long ago. We learned that peace begins in the heart. So we grow beauty around us to protect what matters inside." Tom listened closely. Rena always spoke in a calm way, but her words carried meaning. She turned back to him. "Would you like to visit the learning hall today? I can show you how our world lives." Tom stood. "Yes, I want to understand more." They left the garden and moved through the ship. As they walked, Tom noticed more aliens passing by. Some nodded at him politely. Others still looked unsure. A few whispered softly when he passed. Rena noticed too. Some still do not understand why I chose you. They think strength means power, but I believe true strength is quiet. You have that. Tom gave her a thankful look. I'm not sure what I have, but I'm trying. They reached the learning hall. It was a large room with no books, no papers, only walls that changed when touched. Rena placed her hand on one, and it lit up with images. She showed him her planet Velari. It had silver rivers, floating islands, and towers that reached into clouds. She showed him how her people live with the land, not against it. They use energy from light, wind, and sound. No smoke, no harm, just balance. Then she showed him old history. Long ago, Velari had war. Cities burned, people were lost. It was only when they stopped chasing control and started listening that peace returned. Tom watched in silence. We do not hide our past, Rena said. We learn from it. He nodded slowly. That's something Earth still struggles with. You will learn to, she said. But it takes time. They walked to another part of the hall. This one was smaller, more private. A platform in the middle showed Earth his home. You may speak, Rena said. Ask anything. The ship will answer. Tom stepped forward. Show me my town. The image zoomed in on Riverfield. The streets looked the same. The shop was still there. A few people were outside, pointing at the sky. They miss you, Rena said. Tom felt something in his chest. A pull. Will I ever go back? Yes, she answered. If you choose. You are not a prisoner here. He nodded, then turned away from the image. I want to learn more first. That afternoon, Rena took him to meet the star speaker, wise elder who helped guide the royal family. She was tall, with silver lines across her skin like gentle rivers. Her voice was deep but warm. So you are the one the princess chose, the elder said. Yes, ma'am, Tom replied. She studied him. You are quiet. That is good. The stars speak to those who listen. Tom wasn't sure what to say, so he waited. You do not look like a fighter, she said. But you look steady. I don't like to fight, Tom answered. I like to fix things. The star speaker nodded. Good. Our people have fought. Too much. We need fixers now. Rena smiled from beside him. Later, they sat near a small lake inside the ship. The water glowed soft blue, and small fish-like lights swam through it. Tom tossed a pebble into the water. Do your people ever feel fear? Rena looked at the lake. We do, but we face it with calm. Fear is not weakness. It is a chance to grow. Tom thought about his fear, leaving Earth, being chosen, being different. Yet here he was, still standing. You're brave, he said to her. Rena looked at him. So are you? You could have run, but you stayed. They watched the water in silence. No pressure, no rush. As they walked back to his room, Rena stopped outside the door. I want you to know something, she said. You are not just part of a deal. I chose you with heart, not just duty. You matter. Tom looked at her. She wasn't smiling this time. She was serious. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were full of feeling. I'll try to be worthy of that. Tom said. You already are, Rena replied. She turned and walked away, her robe flowing like wind. Tom stepped into his room and sat on the bed. He looked at the stars once more. He wasn't sure what tomorrow would bring, but he knew he wasn't alone, and for now, that was enough. Tom had now spent several days on the alien ship. Each day brought something new, new places, new foods, new ways of thinking. But the biggest change was inside him. He no longer felt like just a visitor. Slowly, he was starting to feel like he belonged. One morning, Rena came to his room. Her face looked calm, but there was something serious in her eyes. Tom, she said softly, my people have asked for something. He sat up, listening. What is it? They want you to take the cultural test, she said. It is a tradition. Anyone who wishes to join our royal family must complete it. Tom looked unsure. What kind of test is it? It is not a test of fighting, Rena said. It is a test of heart, mind, and spirit. There are 3 parts. You will not be alone, but you must face each part with honesty. Tom took a deep breath. Do I have to? No, Rena said gently. But if you take it, they will understand you more. It will help them see why I chose you. Tom stood. Then I'll do it. I want to understand them too. Rena smiled with pride. I will take you to the first hall. They walked through a new section of the ship. It was older and darker, but still beautiful. The walls showed stories written in glowing lines. Like long ribbons of light in the first hall, a round platform. Waited. An elder named Varel stood there. His voice was deep and kind. Tom, Varel said. This is the start of the cultural test. The first part is the puzzle of balance. You must use your hands and your thoughts to bring order to the pieces. The room changed. A large table rose from the floor. On it were floating shapes, stars, moons, and glowing blocks. They moved on their own, shifting out of place. Tom stepped closer. He had fixed radios and machines all his life, but this was different. These pieces didn't follow gravity. Some spun. Some changed color. Some floated through each other. He had to make them balance perfectly without breaking the pattern. He took a deep breath and started. Slowly, he moved the shapes. He tried to match colors. He listened to the sound each shape made. Some gave off soft music. Others gave off silence. He learned that silence meant balance. Music meant disorder. After a long time, the table glowed. White, the shapes froze in place. You have passed, Varel said with a gentle nod. Your mind listens before it acts. That is rare. Tom smiled. He felt both tired and proud. Rena stood nearby, her hands folded. She didn't clap or cheer. She just looked at him with deep, warm eyes. That meant more than words. The next part came in the Hall of Winds. Varel spoke again. Now begins the trial of nature. You must walk through the garden of trials and care. For a living creature, no help will be given. Tom entered the garden alone. The air was warm. Strange plants grew tall and thick. Colors shifted with each step he took. In the middle of the garden, he saw a small creature hiding under a leaf. It looked like a cross between a rabbit and a lizard. Its leg was hurt. Tom walked slowly. He didn't reach out fast. He sat beside it and waited. After a while, the creature peeked at him. He held out his hand with some fruit he had taken from earlier. The creature sniffed, then came closer. It began to eat. Tom saw a plant nearby with glowing liquid inside. He remembered Rena's lesson. Some plants here had healing powers. Carefully, he broke off a leaf and let a drop fall on the creature's leg. The creature chirped softly. Its leg began to glow. It moved more freely now. Tom stayed with it until it fell asleep. He didn't want to leave it alone. A soft tone played. In the air, you may return, a voice said. Tom walked back to the Hall of Winds. Varel stood waiting. You did not rush. You did not force. You gave care without asking for reward. That is true kindness. Tom wiped his forehead. I just did what felt right. That is why it was right, Varel said. Now came the last test. They entered the chamber of reflection. It was silent, with smooth mirrors all around. The floor was dark, and the ceiling showed moving stars. Varel's voice echoed softly. This is the final part. You must look at yourself, not your face, but your soul. You will see memories. You will feel your past. Only truth will guide you forward. Tom stepped into the center of the room. The mirrors began to glow. Images appeared. He saw his small house, his mother smiling, his father fixing a chair. He saw himself as a child, holding a broken toy, trying to fix it. Then he saw moments of pain, being alone, being laughed at in school, working late nights with no one to talk to. He felt sadness, then strength. He whispered to himself, all of it made me who I am. The mirrors faded. The room turned calm. Varel stepped forward. You did not hide from your truth. You accepted your past. That is the path to growth. Tom nodded. His chest felt heavy, but light at the same time. Rena walked toward him. She placed a gentle hand on his arm. You did well, she said softly. Now they will see what I already saw. That evening, a small gathering was held. A few important members of Rena's people came. They watched Tom with new eyes. Not everyone smiled. But no one turned away. The star speaker also came. She walked slowly to Tom. You are not strong in the way we once praised, but you are strong in the way we need now. Tom bowed his head. Thank you. After the gathering, Tom and Rena stood near the window of the ship. Earth glowed in the distance, small and quiet. I'm not perfect, Tom said. I don't know if I'm ready to be part of something so big. You are not alone, Rena replied. You don't have to be ready all at once. Just be real. That is enough. Tom looked at her. Her words were steady, like her heart. Then I'll keep going, he said. Rena gave a gentle smile. And I will walk beside you. The stars moved slowly outside. Inside, Tom felt something new. Not fear, not confusion, something like hope. The next day came quietly. The ship floated through the stars with its usual soft hum. But something felt different. The air felt heavier. Tom sensed it the moment he woke up. Something was waiting. He stepped out of his room and found Rena already standing there. Her hands were folded, and her face was calm, but serious. They have made their decision, she said. The council has accepted your tests, but now you must choose. Tom stood still. Choose? Yes, Rena said. You can return to Earth. We will send you home safely, or you can stay. You will not just be my guest, you will be my partner. This is not just a promise, it is a bond. Tom didn't answer right away. He followed Rena to the Hall of Decision, a quiet chamber with tall glowing pillars. No one else was there. Rena led him to a platform in the center. On one side, a clear image of Earth appeared. His town, his home, the shop, and the life he once lived. On the other side, the image of Valari, her homeworld, showed silver mountains and rivers of light. You have seen both worlds now, Rena said. Now it must be your choice. Tom looked at Earth. He remembered his old room, his garden, his tools, and the old dog that sometimes visited his shop. He remembered the cold mornings, the quiet walks, and the lonely nights. Then he looked at Valari. He remembered the garden of floating flowers, the learning halls, the kindness of the star speaker, and the way Rena looked at him not with judgment, but with care. I didn't ask for this, Tom said softly. I know, Rena replied. But life often brings what we do not expect. I want you to stay, but I will not force you. Tom took a long breath. He closed his eyes. When he opened them, he stepped back from the platform. I want to stay, he said, not because I have to, not because of a treaty, but because of you. You chose me with your heart. Now I choose you with mine. Rena's eyes became soft and bright. She stepped forward and touched his hand. Then from this moment, we are no longer strangers. She said, we are joined in purpose. That evening, a quiet celebration was held. No big crowds, no loud music, just a peaceful gathering under a dome of stars. Tom wore soft silver robes. A small symbol was placed on his shoulder. It meant chosen. With peace, Rena wore a long, flowing gown that shimmered like water. Her hair was tied back with threads of starlight. The star speaker stood between them and spoke ancient words in a soft voice. Then, Rena and Tom placed their hands on a glowing stone. The stone lit up, showing a ring of light around their wrists, a sign of the bond. The people watched in silence. Some bowed, others smiled. A few still looked unsure, but no one stopped it. After the ceremony, Rena and Tom walked through the garden of lights. The soft wind moved gently between them. You still look like a repairman, Rena said with a small smile. Tom laughed. And you still look like a queen. They sat near the glowing lake. Tom picked up a smooth stone and threw it into the water. It skipped 3 times before sinking. I thought I knew everything about my life, Tom said. I thought my world was small. But now I see how big everything really is. Rena looked at him. Even the smallest light can guide someone through darkness. Tom leaned back and looked at the stars. I never imagined this. I never dreamed that someone from another world would look at me and see something special. You were not chosen by accident, Rena said. I saw something in you others missed. Tom turned to her. I still don't know what the future holds. I may fail. I may say the wrong things, Rena nodded. but you will keep trying. That is enough. She took his hand and placed it over her heart. In my world, we listen with more than ears, we speak with more than words, and we love with more than promises. Tom's fingers trembled a little. He wasn't used to such deep moments, but he didn't pull away. I'm still learning, he said. I will learn with you, she replied. Later that night, Tom stood alone for a while. He looked out the window at Earth. It was still there, blue, round, shining. It would always be home in some way. But now, something had changed. He wasn't just Tom from Riverfield anymore. He was Tom of VLARI. Not because of a title or a ceremony, but because he had made a choice. He had seen another world. He had felt something new. He had been seen, truly seen, by someone who didn't expect him to be more than who he was. And that made all the difference. The day of the bonding ceremony arrived quietly. The great hulls of the alien ship were filled with soft light that changed colors slowly, from pale blue to gentle gold. The air smelled like fresh rain on silver leaves. Everyone prepared for the event with calm hearts and careful steps. Tom stood in a special room, dressed in a robe made of shimmering silk-like fabric. He looked at his reflection in a smooth mirror. He was no longer the same man who had lived quietly on Earth. His eyes held more confidence now, mixed with a touch of nervousness. A gentle knock came at the door. Princess Rena entered, her silver hair flowing behind her. She wore a long gown that sparkled softly in the light. Her violet eyes met Tom's, and she smiled. You are ready, she said softly. Tom nodded. As ready as I can be. Together, they walked through the halls. The people who gathered bowed their heads respectfully as they passed. Some whispered quietly, their voices full of surprise and curiosity. Rena's sisters stood near the entrance to the bonding chamber. Their faces were calm but serious. One of them, a tall woman with sharp eyes, stepped forward. Rena, she said quietly but firmly, this human is not like us. Are you sure this is the right path? Rena looked back with steady eyes. I am sure. Tom is chosen not for power or strength, but for his heart. That is what matters most. The sister hesitated, then stepped aside. Tom took a deep breath as they entered the bonding chamber. The room was large and round, with high ceilings that seemed to touch the stars themselves. Soft light filled the space, and gentle music floated through the air like a quiet river. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal with two glowing marks, one for Tom and one for Rena. The marks shimmered softly. Waiting. An elder stepped forward to begin the ceremony. Her voice was calm and deep. Today, we join two souls from different worlds. They come not as strangers, but as partners, chosen by fate and heart. This bond is not just for a moment, but for all time. Tom looked at Rena. She reached for his hand, her fingers warm and gentle. The elder continued. Place your hands on the marks and promise to honor this bond with kindness, respect, and truth. Tom and Rena stepped forward and placed their hands on the glowing marks. A soft light wrapped around their wrists. Slowly, the light grew brighter and formed a ring of shining energy around them. Tom felt a gentle warmth spread through his body. It was peaceful and strong all at once. The room filled with soft cheers and applause. Some of the nobles who had doubted now smiled. Others watched quietly, still unsure but respectful. After the ceremony, Rena and Tom walked to the garden filled with glowing flowers and floating lights. The soft breeze moved gently between them. Tom looked at Rena and said, I still feel like I'm learning who I am. Rena smiled. We all are. Life is a journey, not a race. They sat by the glowing lake. Tom tossed a small stone into the water. It skipped once, twice, then sank. You picked me, Tom said quietly. Not because I was the strongest or the bravest, but because you saw something inside me. Rena looked at him with soft eyes. I saw your heart. That is more important than any power. Tom nodded. I will try to be worthy of that. Rena reached out and took his hand. You already are. As the stars shone above, Tom felt a calm he had never known before. He was not just a repairman from Earth anymore. He was part of something bigger, part of a new family, a new world. And for the first time, He looked forward to the future with hope. The days after the bonding ceremony passed quietly but with meaning. Tom and Rena learned to live together in a new way. They shared stories from their worlds, dreams they had, and hopes for the future. Each day was a step forward. One morning, Tom woke up early. The soft light from the stars shone through the window. He looked over and saw Rena still asleep, her silver hair spread like a soft cloud. He smiled. This new life was strange, but also beautiful. Outside the ship, the stars moved slowly as if welcoming them to a new journey. Tom dressed quickly and walked to the garden, where floating lights danced like fireflies. Rena was already there, waiting. She smiled when she saw him. "Good morning," she said softly. "Good morning," Tom replied. They walked among the glowing trees, talking about Earth and Velari, the differences and the similarities. "Do you miss your home?" Rena asked. "Sometimes," Tom said, "but I know I'm not alone anymore. You are here." Rena took his hand. "And you are here with me. Together, we will find new paths." Days turned into weeks. Tom helped Rena understand more about Earth, and she taught him about Velari's culture and history. They spent time with the people of the ship, who began to accept Tom more and more. One afternoon, the star speaker came to visit them. She smiled. Gently, "You have done well," she said. "Your bond is strong. You bring something new to our world." Tom felt proud but humble. Rena looked at him and said, "We are stronger together." Tom nodded. "I want to help build a future where both our worlds can learn from each other." Rena's eyes shone. "That is the hope I have held for a long time." Together, they planned visits between Earth and Velari. They dreamed of peace, understanding, and friendship between their people. One evening, standing on the ship's balcony, Tom looked at the stars and then at Rena. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for choosing me, for believing in us." Rena smiled. "Thank you for saying yes, for opening your heart." They stood side by side, looking at the vast universe. Two souls from different worlds, joined not by duty, but by choice and hope. And as the stars shone above, their new life began a story of trust, growth, and the power of kindness.